Welcome back to the second major part of the masterclasses in English with the two last topics for today, which would be the Flowboards technical insights, as you can see here in the agenda, and after that, also presented by me, will be the more theoretical insights into tech and services. So what we offer and what we have to support customers and partners. Good, but yeah, for now, let's move forward with the first part and masterclass, so to say, I prepared for you, which should give you information in more technical perspective. So the topic for now would be, so for the next 45 to 60 minutes, the Flowboards tech. So Flowboards under the hood. You have seen the more usage of Flowboards, the more user perspective, so how to use it, what you can do with it, what are the functionality and what are the features in the morning. And as mentioned, the next time for this part, you will see more the technical information, so how to configure it, how to set up it. Yeah, so this is me. Hello again. My name is Georg Payreder. I'm Senior Solution Architect at CELUM since more than 4 years now. Yeah, my role is in the customer success team and partner enablement team. So we have the focus to support our partners, our technical partners, our implementation partners, and the other focus is also to help customers to have all the information they need and to give you insights into the systems and functionality and best practice we offer. So yeah, as mentioned, or as usual, you have done in the morning. So if you have questions, please use the question section in the webinar, and I will try to answer them at the end or afterwards. So all of your questions for sure will not be deleted or something like that. We will answer them after the masterclasses, and you will get feedback for sure. All right, so let's move forward. As mentioned, with the agenda I prepared. So what I would like to present you now is the management of the CELUM Cloud account. So what is this? What you have seen in the morning, so how you can manage it, how to integrate Flowboard with the ContentHub from technical perspective, and what are the configuration options for Flowboard. So what you can configure for all your users, for your cloud users. And yeah, last but not least, for sure, again, we have a Q&A session at the end. Good. So first topic will be the management of the CELUM Cloud accounts. So again, and some of you already know this slide and this graphic. So very shortly, the most important things here are that, again, because it's very important that you have on the left side your ContentHub, your digital asset management system. On the right side, you have your workroom system, what you have seen maybe today in the morning. So for your agile teamwork management, for example, with flexible workflows, so to say. And yeah, then you have the connections you can see. So connections in the middle to the cloud account and to the CELUM map. So to combine the ContentHub and the workrooms, it's necessary to have a cloud account. A cloud account, which is the account management for your internal ContentHub users and maybe also your external users like agencies, photographers maybe, and also other people and users. So it's not mandatory or necessary that you will have all your users who should use workrooms or Flowboards need to have a ContentHub user. You can also handle them with the one central cloud account. And the one central cloud account, what is the background? We offer this cloud account to use several services of us. So you don't need to have maybe 3, 4, 5 different accounts with different login credentials. So with the one cloud account, you can use workrooms, you can use Flowboard, you can use our CELUM app, CELUM Drive functionality for content, local synchronization, and so on, and more in future for sure. Yeah, Workrooms overall is hosted, is a full cloud service for sure, is hosted on Microsoft Azure in the European Union. Yeah. Yeah, then regarding the different accounts you will have or what you can use is on the left side, the one thing you need in Flowboard will be you need to enable or set up an organization in the cloud account management, what we'll see in a few minutes. And this organization is your company for sure, and in the organization account you handle all your licenses and manage your CELUM enabled services, so what you licensed and which services you will have. And on the right side you have your respective users, so the users who are working with workrooms, with Drive, and so on, so the user licensed CELUM services. And more of that in a few seconds. Yeah, for all of the participants here in the webinar who started now, who have not seen the morning part, I just want to quickly switch to our demonstration system to show you the one thing what some of you maybe already have seen in the morning, how to use it, and what is the cloud account management. So again, we have here an example of our new user interface called Nova UI, and the one thing you need to use it is the connection to your cloud account management. So the connection to the cloud account needs to be set up. You have to register for it. How to register will also be handled in a few minutes. I will show you how you can register or come to a cloud account. And if you've done that, you can switch, or the user itself can switch to his cloud account and the console. So for me, I will log in with my credentials here to demonstrate the user interface to you. In my case, I can see almost nothing. So this would be the very, very basic example of users who have an user account and there is only the information about the CELUM support contact. So who would be the respective contact in the company when the user, for example, would need help. Another example where you can see a little bit more would be, for example, a photographer, and the photographer demo user in that case would see a little bit more. What means that? In this example, it is Paul Photographer, and Paul Photographer will see the organization he is assigned and linked. So this is, for example, our company and also the enabled services. What is the company using and the organization? And in that case, all of that things like the ContentHub is licensed and linked, the workroom system is enabled, also the Drive plugin for content synchronization and sharing. And last but not least, the fourth part here is the InDesign Link app, so the native integration to Adobe InDesign to use CELUM content there. Yeah, and on the right side, again, you will see the contact person. So who is the account owner? This could be an IT department. And yeah, on the left side, you have your sidebar. And the additional thing you have there is an overview about all the colleagues, external people who are within this organization working. With the overview, is this manager or a member, and what is the difference of them? I will also show you later what a manager is and what a member is. And also the permissions here we will handle also in the third part, what you can configure for all the users. Yeah, so this is the Cloud Account Console, the administration console, so to say. And yeah, as mentioned, if the connection is valid, so if I'm connected with my cloud account, I could start on a node, on my node, for example, yeah, the Flowboard or the workroom. So that example here, I could start. There is already one, maybe here. I could start my workflow here, but not much about that because you already have seen it. So I will continue later and show you more later in the system when we handled the more technical things, how to integrate it. So next slides or information I would like to show you is how you can integrate maybe your existing Content Hub, maybe your on-premise Content Hub with this full cloud service, with this cloud account management and workrooms on Flowboard. Yeah, what are the requirements to use it? The requirements are you need a Content Hub at least 19.10. You have to register for CELUM Cloud accounts. So what you have seen now, you have to enable an organization there, and all the users for sure need to register. We will see. And yeah, you for sure, the Flowboard needs to be licensed, the feature. You need all the corresponding modules on the CELUM server, so the extensions, and you need, of course, a proper configuration on CELUM side. Yeah, and if you need help or if you have questions, our service team is available for you, so they would help you if you need anything. And of course, we also have a documentation, so available under help.celum.com. You will get the most important information about how to use it from user perspective. Okay, so anyway, so Flowboard workflows for Content Hub. So how to set up the Flowboards. Again, to summarize it, update step by step here, update your Content Hub to 19.10. If you have a lower version, register your cloud accounts, request the license for it and the configuration, deploy the license and the modules, enable Flowboard's integration in CMA, and last but not least, we have the management of the organization in the CELUM Cloud account. And all of that we will see now step by step in detail how you can do that. And yeah, let's start with the first point here with the account creation. So let's imagine you have a valid Content Hub, which is at least or have the version at least 19.10 or newer. And the first thing you would need to do is the cloud account creation. And for that, you will need two different cloud accounts. The one is a technical account, the other one is an administrator account. So what is the difference? The technical account connects your local Content Hub to the CELUM Cloud. And this should be an email address but it should be not a personal inbox. Why? Because let's imagine an user or an employee would leave the company, and there would be then the must-have that you need to change your technical account again. So it should be more something like it@customer.com, for example. And then the technical account needs to be able to receive emails for sure, and it will be created by the CELUM support team. So we will need the information, and you will get back the technical account created by our support team. Yeah, and the other account would be your administrator account, for example, handled by your company IT department. So this is the person who administrates the cloud user, who needs a personal inbox and is a real person. And this person can also invite people and users, promote users, delete users of the organization, and this person needs to register via account.celum.cloud on the login page of the account management. Yeah, and when this is done, and we'll also see this in the live example later, the administrator or owner of the account will see something like, again, this overview about the licensed services, who is the contact, and also the possibility to change the role of the users, the permissions, and so on. More of that later, as mentioned. So when the first step is done, the second step is the licensing and the account creation. So the user needs to get in contact with the support team through service.celum.com with our help desk and request the license of FLOWBOARD and the cloud services there. And if you are a partner and you also would like to test it, we have for sure the possibility in our NFR licenses. And if you have an old one, you only need to request a new one where the cloud services are enabled. Yeah, then we will need from the customers and partners, the email address of the technical account again, the email address of the administrator, and we will need the information about the public available URL for your content hub, so that the connection can work and is valid. Yeah, and if you provide all of that, you will receive by the support team the invitation to the technical user, that the technical user connection can be enabled. So again, the technical user will get an email and he has to register, and this technical user account will be reused for the connection to the Content Hub. And you will also receive a Cloud Account ID, an Azure Application ID, and Content Hub Instance ID and name and shared secret, and all of that will be used in the configuration and in the CELUM CMA, which is mandatory or necessary to finish the configuration of the cloud services. Good. Yeah, this information, as mentioned, will be used in the third step in the deployment and the configuration on CELUM side. So the first step here will be that you need to deploy different extensions, jar files in that case, in a specific folder directory on the CELUM app server. So below or in CELUM home/app server/lib, these different extensions, jar files, need to be deployed. For workrooms and FLOWBOARD, you will need the cloud and the work extension, and also if you're using the Drive plugin, we need to deploy here the Drive NG extension. Yeah, and the configuration, so the information you got in second step will be now used in the environment properties. So again, in the specific file on the app server below the conf folder, you need to enter all the information you got by the support team, like the technical user email, the password for it, the tenant, Azure tenant ID, the application ID, and also here the account ID in that case. And the fourth step will be then in the user interface. So all of the configuration in the property files are finished. After restart of the application server, you will have in the administration console for the administrator in the CMA more features visible, like the cloud section. And in the cloud section, or in the general configuration section as described here, you need to enter the instance ID you got by the CELUM support team. You need to enter the shared secret you got, and also, last but not least, you have to enable the checkbox that the work feature, the workrooms FLOWBOARD feature is enabled. Yeah, that's all. So the adaptation configuration of the property files and the configuration of, or in the CMA, in the admin console. Yeah, and if you have done that, the users now need to register. So at the moment, the connection is valid between your ContentHub and your FLOWBOARD or workrooms, and the users can now register to use it. And the easiest method they can use it is directly that they start the user registration out of the ContentHub. So they go to profile in that case and connect to cloud account in that section, and the registration flow would start. So they enter their email, and the administrator will get an email notification. And now the administrator can decide, okay, this account is approved or this account is declined. So he can accept or decline all the users. And he has to set the permissions. And this will also be, we'll see in a few seconds, he has to choose what can be done by the users and what is their role in the company. And when all of that is done, the users can finally use FLOWBOARDs. As you have seen in the morning, and I quickly showed you before, is in the context menu, in this case in the advanced UI and also in the Nova UI for sure, in the new user interface, they have in the context menu the option start workflow or start FLOWBOARD workflow, and now they can use it and yeah, they can work with it. So again, because it's super important to know it and necessary, what is the general activation flow? So the first step is log in to the ContentHub. So all users who have access to the ContentHub should log in there, and then they start the registration flow directly in the profile section or in the system bar with connect to cloud account. The administrator approves the membership, and the last step is the valid working connection to the cloud. And then last but not least, the usage. So the FLOWBOARD workflows, they can directly start to work in the ContentHub, start the FLOWBOARD workflow there, collaborate in the FLOWBOARD, so choose templates there, move the tasks there, set deadlines, and last but not least, when the FLOWBOARD is finished, the content will be exported to the ContentHub again if the automator is set. Yeah, this is the activation flow for it. And what is when you would like to use an pre-configured demo to test it? yes, we have also a demonstration system. So if you're interested and you for getting a maybe a little bit more deeper insight into it and you would like to play around yourself in the system, we offer you to register on demo.celum.net. Again, this is already linked to a cloud account, so you don't need to adapt your configuration files there or do anything in the CMA. You only need to go to the profile and register for a cloud account, and you will be enabled by us, by the CELUM team, and then you can start to test your workrooms and flowboards. And yeah, all of what the steps you already have seen now was if you would like to do the configuration yourself, if for sure the Content Hub on your side is hosted by us, all of that would be done by our support team for sure. And also all of these steps can also be done with the support of our support team. So this is nothing where we say, okay, you're alone with the configuration, you need to do it yourself. So if first thing is, if you need help, our service team will help you. And if, for example, the Content Hub is hosted by us, we are doing all the steps on our end to implement the valid connection to the Flowboard and workrooms. Good. Anyhow, so this is, again, please use our demo system. It is very interesting and helpful. And last but not least, what I missed, or the last thing I would like to show you, is the configuration options for Flowboard. So what you can do in the users or in the user interface, what you can configure, how you can administrate your account. Yeah, and again, we already have seen this slide. So in the beginning, again, you have on the left side the organization, on the right side you have the users, but again, you have different user types and account types. So simple users who are working with Flowboard and workrooms are simple members. So they are few members, they can view and use the CELUM services. Additionally, so people with a little bit more permissions would be the managers. So the managers will have an overview about all the licensed CELUM services. They can also edit the role of the users and the Flowboard permissions, and they're also able to add and delete and invite users. Yeah, and the super user, so to say, would be the owner. The owner would be the contact between the users and the CELUM, and this user or this account is legally responsible for organization account. So this is something maybe what is an IT user, an IT department who has all of the rights in the account management to do the most important things there. Good. And what we will now see is the practical view to it. So let's switch again to my demonstration system. So switching back to the account management, you already have seen the simple user. The simple user, the member in this case, is Paul Photographer. Yeah, he will see, or he is able to see all the other members. He can see the people who work in the account in the organization, and also the permissions. When we log in with the manager account, the manager account would be, in our case, Mary Marketing, and Mary Marketing will see a little bit more, because Mary Marketing would be maybe marketing responsible, maybe the head of the marketing department, and she is able also to administrate the users. So almost the same here. She's also able to see the linked organization. So if the account and the linked content hub, for example, in that case would be active or deactivated, there could be also the option that there are more than one organization. So an account can be also linked with several organizations. So let's imagine you have maybe sub-companies, maybe you have different content hubs, but there is one central administration. It would be possible to have here also several organizations. Sorry. And yeah, what you can see again here is the enabled features and functionality like FLOWBOARD and workrooms. And when we switch to the organization again, is the possibility here to see also the users, but in this case, Mary Marketing is able also to modify the values here. So she could activate the user, deactivate the user. She could also change the role of it. So her user, she's a manager. So when we go to her user, in that case, where is she? She's here. So she is the manager. And all out of it, they are all members. And she would be also able to promote other members to managers, and she can also modify here the permissions. The permissions, we have 3 permissions here. The first one is the permission to create workrooms. The second one is the permission to finish workrooms. And the third one is the permission to manage the templates you have seen before. Yeah, and last but not least, for sure, you can also completely delete the user here in the menu, the context menu. What I would like to show you is when I would slightly change that, when I would change the permissions, how this would be affected to the users. And for that, again, I will log in with a separate new user in window to the simple member here. So this would be the designer, a designer who is also working in this organization. Okay, once again, maybe the session is out of scope. So now here we have it. Here we have the true designer again, as mentioned, is also linked with my organization here, managed by Mary Marketing, the manager of the organization. And as mentioned, he can also see it. So let's move to FLOWBOARD now with this user. And what I would like to show you here is when Mary Marketing would change the permission for this designer, how this would look like. Yeah, in that case, the user, this designer, is not able to see anything. So he is maybe a new user who just registered to the FLOWBOARD and would like now to start with the system, with the usage of the system. And so Mary Marketing, as you can see here, nothing is enabled for him. Mary Marketing would give him the first permission to add workrooms. So updated, and now when we refresh the window, you will see that the designer now is able to create the new workroom. And he can now choose the template. He could create his own templates. Maybe he can use templates from his organization. And yeah, now he could start his FLOWBOARD, what you already know and what you already have seen maybe in the morning in the first part of the masterclasses. Good. The second option. So Mary Marketing would enable him the option to finish workrooms. And this is a very crucial permission, because when she is doing that, now the designer is able to see all workrooms in the organization. So now, because we enabled him the finish workroom permission, he would be able to also finish and modify or close other workflows and workrooms and flowboards. So he cannot open it, he cannot go inside the workrooms, but he would be able to finish it because he got now the permission to do that. Yeah, and third option and third permission here is the option to manage the templates. So I activated that, and to demonstrate a little bit better now, I will deactivate again the closing flowboard permission. We will switch back, refresh the window, and with that permission to edit the templates, he would be now able to, as you can see in this example, here, that there is a little pencil that he would be able to also edit templates from other users and employees. So to manage also templates and modify them. Yeah, all right. So this would be all about the permissions. A little bit outlook. What I would like to give you is that these permissions and the managing of the role, so the role selection and all the permissions, these things here will move to Flowboard and workrooms directly in future. So in the first release, or in one of the first releases here, at the moment, it's integrated here in the Cloud Account Management console, but in one of the next releases, we will move all of that administration, so to say, all of the permission management again to the workroom system itself. So there will be in future an admin part, admin console there, where the workrooms manager will be able to define all of that directly in your workroom. Good. All right. So what's more, to give you a little bit more outlook and insights, what is coming next is, as mentioned, I already stated, is that the team space with the permission management will move from the account management to workrooms. There will be released more and more automators. Automators you have seen in the morning, that content will be moved when in the Content Hub when the Flowboard is finished, and we try to provide you more and more automators in future. And also more technical outlook is that all of the drive subscribe features like keep scope, remove scope will be improved and will be added, and the manage versions with advanced version and view capabilities. So the drive subscribe features and the version management will be improved in the next releases. All right, so this was all about my side. So I hope you got a little bit insight into the Flowboards text, so how to manage it, how to integrate it to the Content Hub, and what are the next important steps. So from my side, do you have now any questions? Let's have a look to the question section, just a second. And yeah, there are some questions I will answer, and they are already answered by my colleague. Thank you, Ramin. So what about licensing? So yeah, if you're interested and you would like to license it, yeah, you should get in contact with your respective sales rep, so that we can discuss the process, the flow, why you would like to use it. You can also test it as mentioned, and then if you're really interested and want to use it, we would provide you a new license with the features enabled. So the features enabled, like Drive, for example, InDesign link, if you would like to use a native InDesign link integration, or as mentioned, FLOWBOARD. Yeah, and the cloud account is mandatory or is interesting for you if you would like to use such services. Also in future, we will for sure extend that with maybe new features, maybe some new services. But for now, if the cloud account creation would be only necessary and interesting for you if you would like to use the InDesign link plugin, the Drive plugin, or the workrooms and FLOWBOARD features, then you will need one. Yeah, maybe also a little outlook when this is finally usable. Yes, it's already on the market and released, so you can use it, but we will have an big new release coming next week. So the workrooms evolution topic, and with this major release and platform update, you will have additionally more and more features and also technical improvements. And after that date, you will have a slightly almost new system and version of your workrooms, which is very handy and useful. Okay, all right. So no more questions. If there are more questions, please do not hesitate to post them in the question section. We will also send them out for sure. The next part, as mentioned, is the tech and services presented by me. So please stay tuned and stay here. In 15 minutes, we will continue. So maybe a little break now to refill coffee or drinks. And then we will continue with the overview of our support offering and trainings. So see you later in a few minutes.